If you play VRChat, you've probably complained about low FPS or poor performance at some point. But is this VRChat's fault? What if I told you we might be the problem? We all know someone with an avatar so badly performing that your frames cry for help just by looking at them. But how many people in VRChat are using poor performance avatars, and why? That's what we are going to find out, but before we get into it, my goal is to reach 10,000 subscribers here on YouTube this year, and I can't do it without your support. So go ahead and subscribe if you enjoy my content, I'd greatly appreciate it. Now, I'd be lying if I said my avatars were fully optimized, but these days I at least try. I often make excuses for myself that optimizing my avatar would be a drop in the ocean of poorly performing avatars, and that might be true. This is a topic that if you bring up to people, they get upset and tell you to simply get a better computer or that it's just a skill issue. Before we continue, I want to make it clear I am no expert and I am not here to lecture you or to make you feel bad for not optimizing your avatars. This video is just for entertainment purposes and I suppose it's a little bit educational. So don't get upset. I got curious on how many people actually try to optimize their avatars, so I did a poll on X, formerly Twitter, whatever. The results shocked me. Although my original prediction that was maybe only 20% of the population in VRChat optimize their avatars, 60% of the voters claim they do. This isn't just out of 50 people, by the way. Over 1,000 people voted on this, and more than 100 of those people explain why they do or don't optimize their avatars. Listen, I'm not saying people are lying, but I feel like I definitely see more poor and very poor performance avatars than I do medium or higher. However, even if you try a little and still land in the very poor category, it's still better than nothing. So I'm going to assume that is the case for the results of this poll. Trust me, you can see an avatar be very poor just for being one over the 70,000 polygon limit. That avatar can be optimized in every other aspect and still be placed in the same category as an avatar that's 50 times heavier. Let's go ahead and read some of the comments under the poll. As you could probably assume, most of the comments I got under this poll were about how it's inconvenient or they simply just don't know how. But we did get some here and there that I really felt like I should point out, and it's even stuff that I mention later in this video and we'll cover more about. I'm also going to lump some of these together because they kind of share the similar point that I'm trying to get across. Ari said, I usually don't because I like to change aspects of my avatar a lot. I simply would rather spend my limited free time making an avatar I'm happy with. I've taken steps to slowly optimize edits when I can. In short, not enough time, motivation, and skill to optimize. And to sort of follow that up with the wanting to look good and the creative side, Stubby said, I've said it in the past, but I do a bit of optimization, but never sacrifice my personal creativity to achieve perfection. Could I optimize to the point that my avatars are, at minimum, good rated? Of course. It honestly wouldn't be that hard. However, I sacrifice the enjoyment and creativity I get out of it by removing more and more materials, atlasing, which restricts how much I could do to the avatar. I feel like these are very valid responses, and I'll talk more about it right after we finish reading the rest of these. Flair said, I only started caring about optimization more recently when I discovered all my coworkers had good or excellent avatars and I was sitting at poor. The comment I felt could fit with this was by Ray, saying, after lots of feedback on my avatar size, I've been slowly trying to optimize mine. The reason I feel like these comments fit together is, one, you have people on one end that might tell you, hey, you should probably optimize your avatars more, and on the other end, you'll see a bunch of friends or whoever using optimized avatars, and honestly, if you see more people using optimized avatars, it makes you feel like you should optimize yours. Okay, so I decided to lump these two together because they kind of contradict each other, and I will definitely add on to that after we're done reading these. Dark said, from what I can gather, most people don't because of time, whether they literally don't have the time or if they don't value taking the time to optimize. Though I wish people knew how easy it actually is. Once you get the workflow down, changes plus good medium is very easy. And the counter to that comment that I seen was Vegan Cat saying, no, because despite the constant banter, it's not easy as people claim. Sure, I'll minimize textures and crunch, but every damn tutorial about polygons and meshes I've seen is a pain in the ass to listen to because the delivery is horrible. There were over 100 more comments on this poll, but obviously I'm not going to read through all of them in this video. I did read them all though, and I really do appreciate it, so thank you for everyone that answered the poll and commented down below. Let's continue. We have heard people's answers on why they don't optimize their avatars, but I'd really like to chime in on this and even recap the reasons I think most people don't. Feel free to comment down below if you do or don't optimize your avatars, and if you don't, let us know why. For one, let's talk about convenience. Most people are probably using public avatars or a package they bought off of Booth, Gumroad, or somewhere else. I'll just say it, most avatars don't come optimized for VRChat. Your standard player is probably just gonna at most retexture something and then upload it. Otherwise, they'd have to take it to Blender, and I am telling you, the vast majority does not know how to use Blender at all, and that's not really their fault. That's a lot of extra work for just wanting to be yourself in a social game. I hear people constantly boasting that Blender and Unity is easy, but that's not entirely true. It takes time to properly learn either of those, and everyone learns at a different pace. It may be easy for you because you know it already and probably forgot about the struggles and all the hours you had to put into it. Look, I consider myself to be pretty decent with Unity. Sure, I'm no expert, but I know my way around. However, I've had this issue for years where I couldn't figure out how to get full body tracking locomotion to work within VRChat chairs. So I went to Twitter and people were able to point me in the right direction. And wow, it's actually way easier than I thought. But I didn't have that knowledge at first. And there was even people that were able to link the correct way to do this. But you could see hundreds and hundreds of people had the same issue as me, and I'm sure they all use Unity pretty regularly. If you don't know, you don't know. Another reason you may see poor or very poor avatars is, well, believe it or not, creativity. Sure, you could be optimized and still be creative, but making animations with particles, lights, toggles, anything of the sort will probably land you in the very poor category. Of course, the solution to this would be to have a separate version of that avatar, one for performance, one for showing off your creative, fun side. And it's not just the avatars that make up this problem, it can also be worlds. I'm certain some of you have joined a world even by yourself and noticed you had a considerably lower FPS than you do in most other worlds. Now think about it. Add 20 or more other heavy performing avatars, and I think you can understand why you can't even hang out with friends in larger groups sometimes. The hard truth is, not everyone is a game dev or expert. We are all simply users of VRChat or maybe other social games that want to be our virtual avatars and have a good time. Expecting everyone to learn new skills that require lots of time is just unrealistic. In a game that is user-based content, it is always going to be rough in terms of optimization. That's why VRChat has implemented so many safety and performance settings. Even now, they continue to tackle this issue, like adding avatar imposters. If you don't know what that is yet, it's like a really low quality version of your humanoid avatar that people can see if they hide your avatar with safety settings. It seems like they are going to continue to improve this feature in the future. Now, for those that wish to learn about how they can improve and optimize their avatars, I've got good news for you. Great news, in fact. There are dozens, dare I say even hundreds of really straightforward, quality tutorials on how you can accomplish this feat. It could take some time to learn these things, so don't beat yourself up if you fail at first. I am still constantly learning and trying to improve, and I always refer to tutorials if I need a refresher or to learn something new. Also, don't feel pressured to have to do any of this. Enjoy VRChat the way you want to. Just maybe try to be mindful of what you are using. What VRChat needs is more click of a button optimization choices. While there may not be any official optimization packages to add to your VRChat Creator Companion, there are some unofficial ones. If you aren't willing to put in the work but still want to optimize your avatar, this might be your best option. I don't want to recommend any specific one as I haven't used any myself and can't really vouch. I highly recommend you do your research and make backups of your projects just to be safe. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking, commenting, and subscribe so I can reach my goal of 10,000 subscribers this year. Oh, and I think you might be interested in checking out my other videos, and I've got a lot more to come. You can also follow me on Twitter or join my Discord, links down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, everyone, have yourself a good one. There are dozens, dare I even say,